Hey, Matt here, and in this week's recap, we're going to be talking about construction loans and how you can put them on your property to pull tons of capital out, crypto investments, a new construction project we're working on, and also some new investment deals that we have in the works. So this week we were working on some new loan draws for some projects that we have in the works, and this is a 156 unit parcel, and we have about $3 million to draw. And when you're doing construction loans, which is what we have on this project, we did a construction loan on an existing building, and we acquired all the units, and we put a budget together and a pro forma for what the future rents were going to be upon completion of doing all the construction work. So what was cool is we were able to get an upon completion value of this property done, and through that we were able to get a credit line of capital to use to get reimbursed every time we renovate units. So we structured this loan really well, which worked out nicely because, after we do about 30 units, we always put in for a loan draw, and we were just in the process of, we submitted all the paperwork last week, and it's like every draw we do, we pull out about $500,000, and then we're able to pay ourselves back or put money back on the credit line, because that may be another credit line that we have out, or another loan or a mortgage, because we have cash flows at this project, because the bank, on top of the credit line for repairs and improvements, we were able to get an interest reserve and an interest only period. So we don't even have to pay any loan payments. So all the cash flow is free and clear. So we've been using all that money, investing it back into the property to get the units upgraded. So it's a reimbursement that we're getting back, which is pretty cool. But when you get into these construction projects and these acquisitions where you're going to improve units, putting a construction loan in place is something that can be pretty valuable, because it allows you to get extra working capital to keep things moving, and so you get reimbursed. And what's nice about it is you don't have to wait to refinance the property or put secondary financing on your project if you need more cash flow, because you already have an upon completion value figured when you close on the property. So you already have that money allocated to you, because you already have that set up and it's all in motion, which is pretty cool. So we were able to get that done this week. We typically do them every 6 months, these draws, and we try to combine as many units as possible to get the biggest draws possible, because if you do them in small chunks, like we probably could have done 5 draws of 100,000, but it's more costly, takes more time, and then you have to do more work with all the paperwork. So that's why we kind of try to condense everything into one draw for as big of a dollar amount as possible, and it just makes it easier and more efficient. So we're able to get that done, which was pretty good this week. And then we're also working on our new construction project on Dodge Road, which is going really well. I think we're basically at this point done with all the site work, since now we're getting into the colder months, and winter is going to be just around the corner. So we're able to button a lot of that stuff up, and now we just have our framers that are getting on site to start putting the buildings up in the air. So that's an exciting process that we're just in the works of getting started on. And they say that they're going to finish the buildings within 5 weeks. So if we can get that done in 5 weeks and start working on the interiors, we'll be working all winter on the insides, doing the plumbing, mechanicals, electrical and plumbing, all these different interior things that we have to do in the rough stages before we can put the insulation in and drywall everything up and start working on finishes to lease, because our goal is to get that project done for the spring leasing. So that's kind of our target on that. And everything else is going pretty good on that project. And new development is something great to get into, because you can control the budget and control all these different components. As far as the budget goes, I mean, you can cost everything out and see if it works for the numbers, or if it doesn't, then move on to some other project. I think that's what's nice about it, is you have a lot of control when you're constructing. You can design the units. You can make a unit as big or as small as you want. And you just have more control over the product that you're offering to tenants. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons that I like construction. And the values, they appreciate really well. So if you have an A-class unit that's really valuable and it's in really good shape and it's got all the nicest, newest finishes. We just did a project about 2 years ago and we're already able to refinance and pull more capital out of it because the rents have been increasing a lot, and especially through COVID, all the rents were increasing. So we've been able to pull more capital out of the deals that rents have increased at. And that's one of the things that you really have to watch for when you're investing in real estate, is looking for places that you can purchase properties where the rents are going to increase, because that's going to determine the value and how much money your property generates, on a cash flow standpoint, but also the value of the property too. So you have to keep that in mind when you're investing into real estate. Also this week we met with some new investors that we're trying to put a deal together with. And so basically the way that worked is we met them on site at one of our projects. It's a deal that we're looking to raise about $750,000 on, and a few friends that we know that we've known for several years now, and we've been doing some big projects, and I think we've caught the eye of a lot of different people within the marketplace that are interested in investing into some of the projects that we're working on. So we're able to meet them on the site, bring them on a tour, and basically we showed them the basement of the property. We showed them a couple units at the property, what we're doing after a unit's renovated. And you really have to get involved and show people what things are looking like so they can get a good sense and a good feel for how the production is of your units and the quality of your units. Once people can see it, envision it, they can see you getting things completed and having success with it. I think that's one of the biggest components. We also took them over to some of our other projects just to show them how the consistency of our renovations are. We use all the same materials everywhere. We use the same baseboard, paint, cabinets, countertops. Everything is consistent, and we've sort of refined a system that works like clockwork. We've refined it so well that we just go in, we knock it out and get things done really quickly and efficiently, and every unit that we turn over we finish in about 3 weeks. So it goes pretty quickly, and we've got a system down pat, which has been really successful for us. And then also we've been working on some new crypto investments, because there's a lot of interesting coins out there. Like Ethereum is one of the coins that we've been investing in, and there's a ton of other coins that have a lot of good future potential to them. So we've been putting some money on the side into some of these coins, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, some of them have gone up 30, 40, and 50%, and others have gone up 300%. So there's a lot of good benefits if you find the right investments. It's not easy to do. You have to do a lot of research and digging into it, but there's a lot of opportunities out there if you do the right research and do your homework to make sure that it's the right investment to make. But it's not an investment you want to put all your money into, because it's definitely a risky investment, especially with the volatility and how emotional crypto is. But if you have a good feel for it and you do the right research, you can make a lot of money investing into different coins too. But real estate is definitely senior to all that, because it's much more consistent, long term. It's a solid asset. It's not going anywhere. Compared to cryptocurrency, you just kind of get the feeling that, it's digital. It's not something you hold or can touch. It's something that is sort of just out there. You're putting money into it, and you're generating some returns on it too. So it's a different type of an investment. But yeah, it's pretty cool to dig into it and play around with it.